Housing Wire posted an interesting article titled "Changing the Message About Mortgage Lenders from Villain to Hero." It's a really good read, and the article posed some really provocative questions. I've been thinking about this topic for quite some time now. I mean, we just saw mortgage lenders get blasted by a possible future presidential candidate, and The Big Short is still in theaters, and if you watch that, you'll see the few actual mortgage lenders in the movie, they're portrayed as basically slimeball knuckleheads with no souls. Since the financial crash, the continuing message by the public and media has portrayed the lenders as somewhat as an enemy. The headlines and the conversations focus on fines and penalties imposed by regulatory agencies upon the lenders. There's no recognition of the lenders' endless uphill battle and effort to comply with the increasing amounts of regulatory restrictions, while also absorbing all the new costs that's associated with implementing the necessary rules and regulations so they can continue to provide products to their consumers. So, how do we change the perception about the mortgage industry in general, and more importantly about the individual mortgage lender? Or is this villain label warranted by the media and the public? Why then are mortgage lenders consistently portrayed as villains instead of heroes? While mortgage lenders aren't completely altruistic as perhaps a true hero is, due to their need to make a profit and be a sustainable business, there is no real villainous intent to hurt consumers, in my opinion. In fact, the opposite is true. Lenders typically want to provide the best product and service possible to the consumer. I mean, really, it's in their best interest to do so. Most of them work as a small business, basically self-employed, working with their local markets and communities, so they can't really afford to be a villain or even be portrayed as one. Now, sure, there are exceptions to every rule, and we saw some dirty lenders back in the day take advantage of the system, but to paint the entire industry with that broad brush is simply unfair. Every industry has bad apples. For the most part, as I said earlier, your local mortgage lender is just a simple guy or gal trying to make a good, honest living while providing good service to his or her local community. That being said, the message somehow still remains that lenders are villains rather than heroes. Consumers, trust me, if you saw what they had to go through to get each and every one of you approved, you would appreciate them much more. You think the process is hard for you, these lenders live this thing every single day. And it's not their doing, they're simply just trying to follow the over-regulations handed down by Washington. And by the way, you're gonna have to jump through a few hoops if you want to borrow a couple $100,000. It's just that. A couple of $100,000. It's not a pair of pants that you're buying on Amazon. Remember what you're asking for the next time a lender asks you for an updated bank statement or pay stub. The lender's simply following the rules that have been handed down to them. Trust me, they don't love paperwork any more than you do. And it seems like the lenders can't win nowadays with the media or presidential candidates. They're slimeballs if they don't have regulations and guidelines, and they're slimeballs if they do have regulations and guidelines and they follow them. I mean, seriously, think about that conundrum for a bit. They lose either way. I mean, look at Quicken's Rocket Mortgage commercial during the Super Bowl. They noticed a huge hurdle in the mortgage process and simply tried to overcome that obstacle by making it easier to apply for a mortgage. I mean, I personally applaud and believe they just pushed the entire industry to a new limit with technology. I may not agree with their business strategy or model, but I do applaud their effort and believe other lenders are working hard to catch up to their updated approach. Were they handing out mortgages like candy? No, they were simply trying to make it easier and leverage mobile for the benefit of the consumer. Good on them. But the media shredded them during and after the Super Bowl. But why? I mean, even the CFPB got on the act and they were tweeting, warning consumers during the commercial, stating consumers take their time when it comes to mortgages, which I technically agree with, but why would we fight or villainize a company for trying to streamline the application process and limit the amount of paperwork needed? Hear me guys, this isn't a commercial for Quicken. I feel indifferent about them, but again, I applaud their effort and other lenders shouldn't hate on them out of jealousy. Would it have been better to show a commercial where an underwriter is poring over the information, including credit and income statements and employment history and other detailed information in an effort to qualify the borrower? I mean, really. Maybe so at least the end user would see how difficult the industry really is. I mean, I can go on forever on this topic, but I won't. Nevertheless, to attract borrowers and to allow for a continuous supply of home buyers, which will promote a healthy economy, the mortgage industry must continue to push to change this message. It cannot shy away from promoting the concept of utilizing technology, including self-service apps, so it can demonstrate the ease of applying for a mortgage. In addition, political pundits and the media need to stop villainizing the mortgage lenders. They say they care about small businesses and state they're the heartbeat of America, but then rip the local lenders for following their guidelines. Realtors, mortgage lenders, what say you? And how do we collectively change this perception? Let us know down below and we'll see you next week.